So I have some plant chores to do, and I thought it would be a great opportunity for me to show you some of the ways that I'm growing my climbing plants whilst getting my chores done. If you're struggling to size up your leaves, or you're wondering which is the best method for your climbing plants, keep watching because I've got a few options for you. So I have a few moss balls that needs to be done, and I have an hour that I could spare to do them. So I need some company, so I'm going to take you with me. But before that, if you're new here, take a look around. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I upload a video. And if you're returning, thank you. I'm going to start with this Monstera dubia because I feel like this one might take the longest, and then I will move on to the rest. Okay, so with this dubia, I feel like because the leaves are yellowing here, I'm going to chop it right here because we have a root growing there, and these vines here have also rooted, so I feel like I'm just going to maybe chop it here and then pot this portion into the pot and then extend the top as well. So yeah, let's get started with that. Let's take it out of the pot first, or should I chop it first? I think I'm going to chop it first and then leave the bottom half till later, and then extend the top. Yeah, all right, I'm going to take it off this pole, and then we're gonna go. Let's get my scissors. Do I need them at? I'm just gonna do it on the floor. All right, so this Monstera is actually a propagation of my original Monstera. That one actually perished because I got it on one of those little coir planks, and yeah, I tried to take it off the plank, and that was a big mistake because it just damaged all the roots. So I literally had to just reroot it again, and it just didn't do well. So, all right, let me see. Oh, I should have cut it first, shouldn't I, before I took it off the pole? And it's not going to stick. All right, where did I say I was going to cut it? Here. So I should be using my shears really. Let me go and get my shears. You can tell that I am not organized and I'm rushing. But this needs to be done, and this is my only opportunity. All right, so we've chopped it there. Now I'm gonna try and just cut around this portion of the tape. This portion, I'm gonna cut across this fence here. What am I talking about? I'm gonna cut across the wire here, and then see if I can lift it off without actually disturbing any of it. Let's see, where did I cut it again? Alright, so just take this off. Okay, we cut everything, and then we cut here. Then if we just cut these, oh my gosh, and she's also so dry. Eee. There we are. Okie dokie. So now this portion here, I'm going to see if I can extend the pole, and hopefully she'll still continue to grow a new shoot from one of the nuts. She's not even, oh my gosh, she's not even rooted in anyways. Oh, okay. That is okay. The bottom bit is, this bit seems to be rooted in, but that bit is not. I'm going to take it off. I feel that I'm going to take this off and put it on one of the thickly poles instead, because then it just seems to be, will just make me feel a little bit more comfortable. Right, so let's just work on this top part. So we have some roots growing down, which I don't want to disturb too much. All right, so we are down here now, and I want to see if I can take it off this pole so I could get some of the moss out, ideally up to here, because these leaves look like they're on their way out as well. So that way I could put these roots down into the pole, or into the pot. Maybe if I take the moss out like this, then I could fill up the bottom here with a substrate. And I think I'm going to put it into my aeroid mix. It was growing in pon and orchid bark mixed in, but because these roots were coming from the moss, I think it would be okay to transition into the aeroid mix. I take these leaves off really. Like that. Okay, so that should be fine. Actually, might use that moss, this moss, for the top. Right, let me get a pot. I think this pot should be fine. Yep, that will be fine like that. Okay. So I've got some of the aeroid mix, and I bought a shorter stake to go in the back, like that. Hopefully that should be okay. And put some cable ties on the back before I fill up the back. There's my doorbell. And there we are. That should be okay. Let's see. Let's do the pot test. Yep, she's stuck in there. Good, good. All right, BRB. So we've done that. So now I've got this that I've already have. So I'm going to cut some of this off and then just kind of like overlay it over the top. I have to use these. See, this has already taken me 20 minutes. Oh dear, I don't think that I'm going to get everything done in that little bit of time. So we might have to continue on tomorrow. Okay, let's see. That should be all right. Put that over there like that. I don't want to. Okay, so I need to cut off a little bit of this. When it comes to doing moss poles, I've experimented with so many types of moss poles that I kind of now just feel like there's only certain ones that I tend to use. These ones here, these DIY ones, I don't really like to use anymore because I just find that they're just not sturdy enough for what I want. Yeah. So I tend to just use the ones that are already done. Kind of just, these ones, what with the wire mesh, they just seem to just be too fiddly. And yeah, so if you're new to moss poles, I would say don't worry, don't bother yourself with the wire mesh and just go ahead and just buy some either thickly ones. You could get some from Grow Tropicals, yeah, all sorts of places, and just get it done at quick time. All right, how far down are we now? I need to make sure that these are all lined up. So we're here. Are we here? No, we're here. Like that. Okay. This is lined up as I'm going to get it. All right, we're getting there, So we've done one side. Now I just need to do the other side. Oh. Okay. Yay! I am so happy for you. All right, I need to get some more some more cable ties. There we are. That should be fine. So ideally, I would like to have had a zip tie here just to connect these two together, because I feel like the roots have potential to grow down out over here. So I would like to have something to push this aside or make this one a little bit more snug. I might have to just try and see if I could fill this bit with moss a little bit more, but it's so tall. But this is the tallest that I think I'm going to let it grow anyways. I don't think I'm going to extend it any taller than that. So it probably won't get as mature as it could, because I just don't have the space for these really tall moss poles. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay, this has become a little bit more fiddly than I thought, so I'm going to have to take these zip ties out to tighten this sheet a little bit more, like that. So I just need to put some holes on this side. All right, so I've got my soldering iron. Just going to make a few holes. So I'm just turning the zip ties to the back, just so that when the leaves come out, they don't get scraped on the sides. Especially with Monstera dubias, they always, you see, as you can see, they kind of spread out that way. So just so they have kind of like a smooth surface rather than the sharp edge. And there we are. What I'm going to do now is fill it back up with some moss. I'm going to use the same moss that was in there. Okay, so I took the bottom part off of that pole, moss pole, and I've taken that moss pole and then extended it onto this one, because this is the bottom half. It wasn't even rooted in, so this bit I'm going to put it onto maybe just a smaller pole. I've ordered some of the small ones from Grow Tropical, so this should be all right for it. And then I have put the other one on here, so it will have a lot more space to grow up, and I think that is as tall as I'm going to be able to manage in my space. So yeah, that should be fine. Okay, so here is the finished product. I hope you can hear me, but because the wood builders are just going crazy. So here they are. I've put this one on a closed back moss pole, and I've got this one on a wire pole. So when you hear wire mesh pole, this is kind of an example of something like that. It could either be a wire mesh pole with the plastic backing, or a wire mesh pole completely as a cylinder. I find that the cylinder wire mesh pole, when it's made completely out of wire mesh, it tends to dry out much more quicker than when you have the plastic backing at the back. So yeah, you have those two options, and these are the DIY if you want to make it yourself. The problem with making them yourself is that obviously you have the cost, and then you also have the added extra of they are quite finicky, so you order the zip ties, and then also having to cut the wire as well. So yeah, just think about that before you decide to want to do something like this, but it is an option. The advantage of something making it yourself is that you can tailor it to whatever size that you want. You can put and however many plants that you want to have on a given pole, whereas the other pre-made ones, they come pre-made, so you can't really determine the size unless you buy all of the size scales. But yeah, so this is her, and she's gonna now go back into her place. And yeah, let's move on to option number 2. Okay, so it's the next day and we're going to continue. So the next option that I'm going to show you is this guy. So this is the Philodendron lupinum, and I have it growing on this what's it called, the bio base climbing poles. So this is how they come just like this. They come in a 2-pack, and they have these little connectors that you slide into to connect each pole, so that you slide into like this to connect the poles. And yeah, I've been growing this guy on here since I got it. Well, not actually, so I've been growing this guy for about 6 months now, and this is the leaf here. So you can see that it is sizing up because this is the newest leaf, so it is sizing up. I was contemplating on putting it onto a moss pole, but I thought, you know what, seeing as it is sizing up, although we've got some sparse areas here, we did lose some leaves down the bottom, but recently it's just been sizing up, and I don't know if it's actually attaching to the pole. It's actually not attached to the pole at all. However, it's still sizing up. So yeah, the only downside I would say to these poles is that this is the same kind of pole that my Monstera dubia came on. And when it attaches to the pole, it's hard to get it off. So if you're going to put it on a pole and make it attach to the pole, you have to make sure that this is where it's just going to stay, because if you take it off, it's almost like you have to now reroute it again. So yeah, that's the only thing I could say about these poles. I would definitely use these poles also for like Monsteras as well, that don't necessarily need like to grow into something, but just need that stability, because they are quite sturdy. Once you put them into the pole, they are quite sturdy. So they come in this flat style. They also come in these ones as well. So these are like the more rounder shaped moss pole kind of cylinder style. And yeah, I'm gonna try this one for this guy here, my Diascora of this color, just so it has something like more to wind around, because I find that it tends to want to grab onto something that's already upright. So I'm gonna see how it grows on this one. These also come with extensions as well, and it's supposed to mimic the texture of tree trunks. So this is an option for you if you don't want to have like a smooth textured plank, or just like a stick or something. So it kind of gives you that same effect, but with a little bit more texture, I would say, to it. So basically all you do is get the connector and you just kind of just slip it in to one side like that. Actually, and then you just connect it to the bottom side. I want to break that new growth there. Like that. And there we are. And that is it. It's so simple. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to get some grafting tape just to secure this new growth onto the new extension. And that is it. I think I probably wouldn't even make another extension after this. This is as tall as probably I would like it to go, depending on how big the leaves go, because I prefer the bipennifolium when they're in their juvenile state as opposed to when they get to their mature state, because their mature state almost looks a little bit like this Florida ghost. They kind of get these ears, and I don't know if I like that. So there we go. And I don't know whether I should upsize the pot either. Can't really see any roots growing in there like that. But I think that if I do add another extension on top, I will probably put a metal pole behind it and just secure it with some grafting tape or something, just to give it that extra stability, just like a moss pole you would do, so it doesn't topple over, or put it into a heavy ceramic pot, just so it has that stability. But it is quite sturdy. It is quite sturdy. So this is the second option. I'm going to now put this guy onto my Diascora. Okay, so I've just got you down here because I'm going to take this Diascora this color out, and I'm thinking about putting it into my forest floor mix rather than keeping it in pond. I don't know. I'm going to just take it out and see, because some of these vines are actually dead and there's a bit of root rot going on. So let's take off this. Where is your end? Here it is. So this vine is the only one that's growing, I think. So I got this plant as a cutting from one of the plant swaps. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a little bit tricky because I tend to pot whenever I root a plant, especially if it's like rooted in water. I tend to just put it into semi-hydro rather than into the substrate, only because it already has water roots and I just feel like it's already been growing like that. However, I don't know if this one really likes that kind of life. So yeah, I don't know whether I want to put it back into semi-hydro or not. Okay, let's take you off there. Voila. Now, so this vine is the only vine that I think has been growing quite well. That one leaf actually put out 2 vines when I was rooting it. Then after that, the vines kind of died off. Okay, right. Okay, so here are the 2 vines all separated. Let's take off these little dead ones. So this is the most viable vine. This one, it seems to be hanging on and just shooting out. It seems to be hanging on, but just shooting out new vines elsewhere. So I don't know whether I should just cut this up and then propagate this. Yeah. Or just let it keep on going, because I can't see. Okay, so this is the newest growth. This one is holding on to these 2 leaves, but it's not actually doing anything. There's no growth coming from here. It actually shot out from there. So I could still keep this one and try and see if I can root it somehow, some way. Okay. I don't know. What do I do with this bit? Should I cut it? I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut this bit and see if I can root it. Oh, I don't know. All right, let's look at this root. Whatever falls off, you see, that's all dead roots. We've got some nice white ones though. These roots are just so fine. Okay, so we literally left with hardly any roots. Oh, that's so annoying. Alright, I've got this pot. I'm going to plant it up anyways, and then we'll see how it goes. I'm going to put it into my forest floor mix. We're going to put it onto this pole. Let's wind this around. So I want to see if I could cover some of these bottom nodes on that vine maybe they might root. You never know. So what I want to try and do is get some of these, so if you can see, I want to get some of these nodes onto the surface of the soil, so that way they might be able to root in and then start winding it up the trellis or the plank. And then I'll get some grafting tape just to secure the end of the vine. So I'm going to cover, well, I might pin them down actually. Just pin them down. I'm just going to use these hairpins just to pin them down, pin it down. They're just these kind of hairpins. I'm not going to push them down too tight either. Okay, here we are. Let's see how she gets on. Right, so we have the newest vine growing there, so hopefully it will start to wind its way around. And then I broke the other vine off there, so hopefully this would then shoot out a new vine from there. And I've moved it now into soil, so yeah, I'm expecting it to shock, but we'll see how she goes. If not, then I'm sorry, but I might have to just get rid, because it's definitely been quite a stressful plant to grow. I would definitely say it's not an easy plant to grow. Yeah. Oh yeah, Dioscora discolor. Major, minor, I don't know, but let's see. That's how she's looking. All right, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this Monstera literally just fell down. So obviously she's telling me, don't forget me, because I need a pole too. So I'm going to show you a third option. So I'm going to put it onto this D-shaped pole, but I'm not going to actually fill it. And I'm going to actually size up her pot. This is like 2 times the size. When the roots grow down from the moss pole into the pot, they'll have enough space. So that's why I'm going to use such a big pot as well. And yeah, I've already started to angle this root that's coming down, so it goes downwards, because it was actually growing outwards before. This was a freebie from Grow Tropicals as well. Look at those roots. Oh my God. I don't even think I want to disturb these roots at all. I'll probably just tease these ones, but the rest of it, I have just no words. I have no words. My gosh. It is really dry as well, which is probably why it fell down. Gosh. It is rock solid. All right, let me just try and get some of this soil loosened a little bit, and then I'll be back. Hey guys, I lost all of the footage from the rest of this video, so I'm coming to you in current time. We're now in May, just to show you an update of the plants, because I filmed this about 2 months ago, so maybe the end of February, beginning of March is when I filmed this video. And yeah, we've had lots of growth, so I'm just going to give you an update of how the plants are looking since I put them on the pole. And I actually have 2 other plants that I want to put on some poles as well, so we'll do that together and just close out this video. Right, so the first one that I was showing you, I think that may have been the last one that you saw, was this one, Esmeralda, I think this is. And yeah, she's not looking her greatest. This is her current leaf. Don't think she's actually rooted into the pole just yet, but yeah, I think that she will definitely be okay. I'm just going to give her a little bit more time. But yeah, so this is the first one, and I ended up putting her on a moss pole only because, what was my reasons why I put moss in the pole? Only because I knew that her leaves they don't grow like wide, and the petioles, they don't spray out, so she won't take up as much room. So this type of pole is absolutely fine for me to just have it on the pole, and then she'll kind of size up, but not too much. But yeah, this is her. All right, so the next one was the Monstera. I think that was the second one before this Esmeralda. I think you can see her all, but I ended up putting her on an empty pole, and she had a root coming in there, just here, and that is now grown into the pot. Look at the roots. The roots have gone absolutely crazy in there. So yeah, this is now going to grow up very nicely. The only thing, I think I put the pole a little bit wonky because I want her to look like this, but the pole is facing this way, as you can see, instead of facing that way. So all her leaves are now facing that way. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Hopefully when some of the other leaves grow in, they'll start to, because this is where the next leaf is going to come from, just here, in here. So I'm hoping that I can like direct it to face flat against, you can't even see, flat against the pole. But yeah, so for now she kind of just looks a little bit wonky, but that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. I'm just gonna just leave it, and hopefully I could just rectify it as she grows up. All right, let's put that one back over. Another one that is not so good but hopeful is the Dioscora discolor. As you can see, it all died back. However, can you see that? Yep, she is growing back nicely. There's a little growth point just there. So yeah, this is this is all that's left from her original plant, but she's growing back there. So I think we are going to be okay. We're going to be okay. So yeah, that's that one. And she was on one of the oh gosh, I can't remember what these ones are called, but it's not a coir pole, but yeah, the textured one. I can't remember what it's called. I'll put a name on the screen. But yeah, so she's on this one, and I'm hoping that I could just, once this grows round, I'll just guide it so it can just wind around the pole like so. All right, so the next one here is the Philodendron pinnatum, and it was on the same kind of pole, but the flat one as the Dioscorea. This construct is actually okay. However, I find that the poles, they're quite brittle and they break very easily. Like this one is actually broken on the side. However, I'm just going to use some grafting tape because the new growth is coming in. So I'm just going to use the grafting tape just to kind of hold it together, because it needs, this part here is broken. And yeah, I don't like that. So if I just use some grafting tape, it should be fine. But the newest growth, this one is the newest leaf. So since I put it on, this leaf came out, and now this one's come out, and it's got another one coming on the way. And as you can see, it's definitely sizing up, considering, and it's still not stuck to the pole. It's still not stuck to the pole. Look, this one is just actually going to come off. So I feel like, because this bit is broken here, it's not going to stay in. I'm not sure if you can see, yeah, because it's broken there. And that's the only thing that I would say about this, is that yeah, it will snap very easily if you put too much pressure on it. But yeah, these things are very easily replaceable anyway, so you could get them in like Dobbies, and you could Grow Tropicals do them, House of Kojo do them as well, plants.com do them. But yeah, with regards to the plant, yeah, it's sizing up very nicely. It's still not stuck to the pole, but that is okay. I think what I might do though is I might air layer some of the leafless nodes and keep it on the pole, but maybe put one of those air layering domes or a cup under here, just so I could get some cut-ins, and then maybe reroot the top. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's definitely sizing up and it's doing okay. So, and I don't have to water it. I don't have to do anything apart from just water the bottom as normal. So yeah, and I still can't see any roots in here. I don't know how it's sizing up, but it's definitely growing. So now let's move on to the pièce de résistance. This girl has not skipped a beat. And here she is. And she has just been growing and growing. You can see this is her newest leaf. It hasn't really expanded yet. This is the leaf before that. The reason why I feel this one didn't get as big as these guys is because it needed some more moss in there. So I recently put the moss all the way up. Sorry, I just realized that I was filming in cinematic mode this whole time. Oh my gosh, I'm hoping that it wasn't so blurry. Oh, all right. So anyways, this is how the moss pole is looking. I ended up filling up the rest of the top. So hopefully now she will start to just grow and size up like she did. Like, this is the biggest leaf. That is amazing. And yeah, she's doing very well. Let me show you her baby. So here is her baby, giving me 2 new vines. So this was the original vine here. And I've just decided just to keep it on, just so it could give some of those transferable nutrients to the rest of the plant. But she shot out 2 new vines, and I'm just like, wow, I did not expect that at all. I just thought this one was just going to grow, but for her to shoot out 2 new vines, that is amazing. So hopefully this will be like a really full pole. So I'm not sure how it's going to work out, because the leaves are very sprawling in terms of when they size up, they kind of take up the whole width of the, like you can see here, like she's taken up the whole width of the pole. So I don't know how this is going to go on this little pole here. I'm going to have to try and see if I can, as it grows up, I might just put one of the bigger poles on and then let it grow up onto there, then chop that. For now, she's just really cute and lovely. I just love the little like bushy kind of vibe it's giving. And yeah, so that is it. I also did put some other plants. I put my old choco on a moss pole filled with moss, but in terms of variations, these are basically the different types of ways that I will grow. Some empty, some coir, some DIY, but yeah, just kind of just do what works for you. So I also forgot to mention that I had something like this. This is just like a pre-made moss pole that I got from Amazon. I had it for ages, but it's not really like moss. It's just like, I don't even know what kind of fabric it is, but it's more like fiber. And this kind of pole, I would say I would use more for just definitely more for support. So something like a Monstera or even a Philodendron. I have a plant that I actually want to put this on. I want to put this on my ring of fire, which I'm actually going to do right now. So let's do that together. All right, so we're going to start with this Monstera. So this is my Monstera mint that I got from, I think it's Downtown Plant Club. I have that unboxing should be coming up shortly. And I'm just going to put her, because I can see her root coming out here. I'm just going to put her into just another size up, and yeah, just to give her that support. So I'm just going to give her a pole. I'm not going to put any moss in it, so this is just going to be just like a support pole. The reason why I'm using this closed back pole for the Monstera is because I want to direct the roots downwards, because I don't, with Monstera roots, they kind of, if you just leave them, they just kind of go wild all over the place. So as the roots grow in, I want to direct them downwards into the pot. Although I know that that means that I'm going to be upsizing every couple of months, I know, because Monstera roots, they are prolific. They grow really, really crazy. But yeah, I'd rather that than have them just all sprawled out all over the place. So yeah, that is why I prefer to have, if I'm going to use a support stake, I'd rather have something like this where I could just contain the roots. So yeah, let's get this out. I actually want to keep the substrate, so I don't want to disturb it too much. And there we are. Oh, we have lost some roots. Oh no, we lost a whole chunk. Well, that's all right. She seems to be okay. That is very disappointing. I actually have some of this potting mix. I went to a plant swap kind of event, and I got some of this potting mix as a freebie. So I'm going to use that to add to my already aeroid mix. I don't really have that much left of it, so let's pour that in. Let me put that down here actually. So I'm hoping that I can get that video out shortly as well, so you'll be able to see that. It was definitely a different type of event than what I've been to before. But yeah, it was all right. It was a vibe. I feel like I want to add some more cocoa coir. No, some more cocoa husk and bark to this mix, because I don't feel like it looks a bit dense to me. Oh, Pesto, you're here. What are you doing, boy? Oh dear. Hey! Alright, let's see how that's going to look. Okay, yeah. What are all these rocks? I think there's a lot of big stones. This is like the second big stone that I've found in this mix. The last thing I'm probably going to add a little bit more perlite. Okay. Alright, so I'll just add this. Alright, so I'm just going to put some of this in like that there. Like that. Then get this guy. I feel like I could put her up even a little bit higher. Okay, that is good. I think that should be fine. And then I'm just going to put her on here like that. Sorry, I've got to turn around, because last time I put the other one wonky and was not very pleased with that. Okay, looking good. Okay, I'm just going to put some cable tie it to the back. This cable tie a lot on. Make sure it's actually facing the right way this time. Why didn't you stay? Okay. All right, and there we are. And hopefully she will now just grow into the pole. Just going to push this down a little bit. Like that. Yeah. There we are. So that is that one. And like I said, as she grows, I'll just anchor her to the pole so that her aerial roots will just grow down into the pole. So the next one that I have is this ring of fire. And I was waiting for her to get another leaf just so I could see like which way she's starting to grow. And I think I'm just going to put the pole at the back just like this. And I'm not sure whether I want to go for this 5-inch pole or this one. I'm more inclined to go with this one. I think that might be a better fit. And I'm just going to use one of these just so it has something just to rest on, if that makes sense. And they just basically, you put the smaller tube into the bigger tube, and I think I'm actually right to put this one in there because then I could have it like that because it's actually quite tall. Yeah, so let's just get this out of its pot. Take this soil out. See, the roots are actually very good. I just watered it, to be honest. But yeah, we'll take this off because it's actually quite a dense mix. And I feel like it's got a plug. There's like a plug in the middle. I could feel something. Yeah, it feels like there's like a plug in the middle. Although they say that the plugs don't really affect the plant because the roots kind of grow out of through the plug. But I don't know. I just generally take them off anyways, just to give the plant a little bit more of a fighting chance. Oh, doesn't sound good though. Feels like you're ripping the roots. And so far, because I've had this plant for a little while, I haven't seen any like gnats or anything come out from it. So these are like the original leaves. So I'm assuming that this mix is actually quite all right. So I'm not going to rinse off the roots or anything. And so from what I can see, it's going to grow like this. So let me put this in first. Like that. Put a little bit more. Then we'll put her in. Like that. Yeah, I think that should be all right. Yeah. Okie dokie, here we are, all done and potted. I've just put some Velcro just to hold her up. Hopefully this will be stable. It's a little bit wobbly, but once I water it, hopefully it'll be all right. But yeah, so that is it. Thank you guys for joining me. Until next time, stay happy, healthy and whole, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Beautiful.